Wait. What?
So sick, boy, better call a doctor. My team ballin' like the Knickerbockers.
I don't think I really understand.
Rim rockers, silk shockers, throw your hands up like Serge Ibaka.
Hey you guys, Jay East here, and I want to go over a couple things. We're going to go over a couple things about growth. I want to actually touch on my high five, yeah, kind of like a high five, of growth potentials that I feel if you hit all five, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then I think usually you have the best chance at succeeding and having real growth, not artificial growth. So let's go. 5 parts of growth that I think you need to achieve or grow at, and this will lead to you having an overall growth. So the first one, physical growth. Like physical growth. That means either growing in size, getting bigger, getting stronger. That means making a physical change. That could mean also losing weight. It could mean, you know, just kind of doing something completely out of the normal that you would physically do. When I say physically, I mean physical. So it has to be purely physical. Whether it's, you know, running for 4 or 5 miles, whether it's, you know, just going for a run for 1 mile, or whether it means, you know, making a conscious effort to exercise a little bit more every day, whether that means going for a walk, or, you know, anything that's physical and it's a change and it's for the better, then that is part of physical growth. Or that's at least the briefest way that I could describe physical growth. There's like more to it, but that's the briefest one I could probably do. The second one, boom, second, is mental growth. So when I say mental growth, that means mentally changing the way how you think about things. So that could mean mentally deciding to go about doing something a completely different way than you would have before. That could mean reading different books. That could mean opening your mind up to different possibilities, different perspectives, different beliefs. All these different things that you can mentally do, those are the things that are going to lead to mental growth. You can mentally go backwards, but the aim is you want to mentally go forward. And you can mentally stay in the same spot, which is what a lot of people do. But I think really what you want to do is you want to mentally grow. Or at least you do if you want to grow on overall. So that's the second one, mental growth. The third one, would be, and this is where it gets a little deeper into the meanings of them, spiritual growth. So when we say spiritual growth, that doesn't necessarily mean religion. It could be religion, but it doesn't have to be religion. It's more so when we say spiritual growth, it's something that's better for your body or better for your wholeness altogether. And it's not something physical. So a spiritual growth could be, you know, opening your mind up to other religions and other beliefs. That's kind of like the mental, but here's where the spiritual comes into play. The spiritual comes into play where you try to understand it and you try to take away something from someone else's beliefs or someone else's spiritual beliefs that you yourself can use. So personally, I consider mindfulness a form of spiritual growth. When I say mindfulness, I mean, you know, meditating, praying, mantras. I consider all those forms of spiritual growth. If you ask me what I consider yoga, I consider yoga a form of spiritual growth, because even though yoga is something that you're physically doing to, you know, stretch yourself, that's not actually the purpose of yoga. Yoga is more so you can clear your mind and so you can actually have a little bit more level-headed thoughts with things. Fourth of growth would be emotional growth. This, I think, is one of the hardest ones, and I'll tell you why. So emotional growth usually involves you being able to not only control your emotions, but to observe your emotions and know when you're in a certain emotion and how to get out of that emotion. Ultimately, you want to be balanced. I know a lot of people say they want to be happy, and happy is great. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with happy, but if you're delusionally happy, where you're just happy all the time and you're completely oblivious to the consequences of things, then that's not good. To the same extent, if you're always angry, that's not good either. You're supposed to be balanced. So really, you want to be able to acknowledge what emotion you're in, how to get out of that emotion, so then you can then go back to a state of balance, where now when the next emotion comes up, you're not freaking out or you're not too involved in that emotion. The problem with being too involved in an emotion is you can get trapped in it. And when you get trapped in an emotion, then it's hard to get out of that. And your emotions can control the way how you perceive or how you look at things. And that's not good if you want to perceive life more in a lucid fashion. Even if you want to perceive life as abstract, it's not good to get caught in an emotion to do that. It's just not good to get caught in your emotions. I know you've heard people say, why are you in your emotions? Why are you in your feelings? Kind of like that In My Feeling challenge. Kiki, are you with me? Are you riding? Alright, anyway. Sorry, I got sidetracked. I like to dance too much. Back to emotional growth. So with emotional growth, it's being able to acknowledge when you're in a certain emotion, how to get out that emotion, and to be able to go into another emotion. The advantage of this is, if you grow well enough and if you can control your emotions well enough, then you're going to be able to go into emotions as easy as you can come out of emotions. So that means when things really upset you and you would normally get, really angry, or you get really sad about something, you'll still feel that. You'll acknowledge the emotion, you'll feel the emotion, but then you can come directly out of that emotion and you can put yourself in a position where you can now go into a better emotion, or at least something that would be better for you in that moment. So that's the advantage of the emotional growth, and it's really hard to achieve emotional growth. They're all hard, but I think emotional growth is one of the harder ones. And the fifth for that high five, give me a high five, I personally think is the hardest, and it's even harder than emotional, is ethical growth. So here's why I think ethical growth is hard. Ethical growth involves you changing your ethics for the better. And the hard part with that is being able to acknowledge that ethically you may not be doing the right thing, or you may not be looking at things the right way, or you may not be responding to things the right way, or your motives may not be right. They may not be genuine. And it's hard for people to even notice that. Like, it's really hard sometimes for you to be able to say to yourself, I'm not doing this for the right reason. Let me change my mind about that. If you can, great. Guess what? There's still different things that you have to do ethically for ethical growth. Growth as an overall, it doesn't stop. There isn't something where, like, you can reach your max ethical growth, or you can reach your max physical growth. I personally don't think that there's anything that maxes out. As long as you're alive, you can keep growing. However, as long as you're alive, you can also keep going the other way, and you can keep going backwards. So you kind of have a choice. You can either stay the same, which, if that's what you want to do, that's cool. You can either evolve, or you can de-evolve. I think ultimately no one wants to de-evolve. At least I hope you don't want to. I mean, I don't know why you would want to de-evolve. Would there be a reason why somebody would want to de-evolve? Would you want to, like, become like a caveman or something? And like, I don't know. I can't think of that. But then again, would you want to stay the same? Well, I guess you would want to stay the same if you felt you were in a really good spot. But no, I don't think you would want to stay the same. The general consensus is you want to evolve and you want to become better, bigger, better, stronger. Kind of like PF Flyers, right? Like run faster, jump higher. You want to evolve, and I think most people want to evolve. But in order for you to evolve the right way, you kind of have to know how to evolve. In order for you to know how to evolve, you got to know the steps. And I think that those steps are those 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, those 5 different levels that I just gave you for the high five. So I think once you start to realize what they are and you start to actually aim towards each one of them, then you can grow. The hard part about any of this is growing is difficult. It's just hard. If it was easy, then everyone would do it. but that's kind of something you have to tell yourself. If it was easy, then everyone would do it. And what would be the point in doing it if it was easy anyway? I mean, you know, you could do something that's easy and it's cool, it's done, it's out of the way, but when you do something that's difficult, when you do something that's hard that other people can't do, there's kind of like, you know, this moment where you have this satisfaction where you can say to yourself like, yes. So I think, personally, it's better for you to grow. And I think it's personally better for you to evolve. So I'm going to be going into those 5. You're going to see me talking about those 5 a lot. I'm really big on that. Like, I'm really, really big on the 5. So I'm going to go into that in more videos. But for now, I just kind of wanted to really brief go over what those 5 were in this little setup that I have. Like, you like my couch? Like, yeah. Feel free to like the video if you liked it. If you didn't like it, then feel free to tell me why you didn't like it. You can put your comments down there. Feel free to subscribe so you can actually see when I go into details with the other videos. Or just feel free to share it. Share it to everybody. Share it to your friends. Share it to your mom. Share it to everyone. If you don't want to share now, that's cool too. You can share later after we actually put up some more of these videos. If you don't want to share then, that's cool too. I kind of hope you want to share then. Like, it would be really cool. Like, but I don't want to seem like I'm pleading. I'm not pleading. But anyway, yeah, feel free to like. Feel free to subscribe. Feel free to share. And I'll catch you guys later. Until then,